Hey everybody, it's Chad here, and we are going to be taking the April garden tours, the very end of April, and some stuff is completely in its main flush right now. Other stuff is not quite getting started, but wanted to show you what everything looked like this time of the year. So here's our Japanese maple, full first flush of leaves. The red leaves are going to turn green eventually, but still looking really awesome and dark. I did not trim this year yet. I still can at some point, but it grows very slow, so no rush. And here are the rose trees. On our left right here is our sunny knockout, the only knockout rose that I know of that smells, has a nice citrusy smell. And they open up yellow, as you can see, and then they turn white. We have 3 of those. There they all are. And here are pink knockouts. I think these are pink and not red, although they kind of look red too. But anyway, pink knockout rose. These guys are just like regular knockout roses, very hardy, just in a tree form. And it is right in the middle of its first big flush. Still got lots of blooms to go. Second one. Let all these flush, then cut it back pretty good. So this thing wants to just shoot up with these long stalks. You gotta make sure you keep it in the tree form. These are just starting to get a little bit of flowers on them. They're gonna go crazy. These are drift rose trees. I do not remember off the top of my head which the name of these, but they are drift roses. If you can ever find drift rose trees, they do great. Now this one of my favorites, another drift rose tree. And the reason I like this one is because it blooms in so many different colors as it ages. So, you know, they come out like this, and then eventually they lighten up quite a bit. They're just glowing oranges. Have our welcome fairy. Crepe myrtles were trimmed back as usual and are growing up. They will be out in another month or so. There's our griffin. Got some nice little blooms around him. And this lower petalum is going to be cut back to about the height of the fence there. We just kind of let it go crazy while it's blooming, but it's done blooming. Going to have to change out these roses probably. They have not done good since I had to transplant them because they were too close to the edge of the brick. Now the pots, I don't know if they like those, but not doing great. So I'm gonna have to trim them up, see what I can salvage, but get something else to go around here. Here's our other griffins and our other crepe myrtles. And here we're going inside the Walkway Flower Bed. So we have Super Tunia Bubblegum Vista from Proven Winners up there in the top planter, and also right here on the edge. Behind them are drift roses. These are not quite in bloom yet. There's a few flowers here and there, but they are loaded with blooms. I'll show you. Look at that. Lots of blooms. The one back there, I want to say it's called a Montezuma rose down with the yellowing. Might have to get that one out. It never does great. Got our fairy. This is the one, I have a video of me bending this over. It broke. So I'm going to have to cut that off and may end up replacing this entire thing as well. Look at our knockout roses. Pink in the front and reds in the back. Going crazy. We have a fairy with the David Austin rose in front of her. If you can see, it's just starting to get some blooms. Some more John F. Kennedy back there. It's not doing too hot. And then, and here's our Julie Andrews, one of my favorites, because of that yellowish glow in the middle of them, like a light's coming out from the middle. Just starting a few blooms. Man, these knockouts put on a show. These things have been transplanted like 3 times, and you just can't kill the things. They're still got lots more blooms to go. Something is eating those super bells in the middle. We'll have to figure out what that is. I've got some slug bait I put down, but those are overall, especially the super beena, they're doing really good. And I can always pull those super bells up if this have an issue and plant another super beena right in the middle. But really am enjoying these, and this is about to start filling out in the middle even. Got some impatiens here. They're doing really good. I think I put 3 or 4 in there, and they're gonna go crazy soon. And then coming around to this side, we got the tea olive tree here. A few changes that are coming up here. Those are limelight hydrangea. They're doing awesome. This one cane of this yellow climbing rose, which I've had for several years, it just kind of keeps dying off a little bit at a time. So we're probably gonna dig that up and replant it somewhere else, and then get rid of that little trellis and let the limelights just go crazy. First time planting foxgloves, and one of them is blooming. The other 2 are very close to being in bloom. Our dragon. Evening primroses. These are the ones that open really fast as it starts to get dark. So looking forward to being able to video some of those. And look at these. These are drift roses, and boy are they pretty. Full bloom. Now, my favorite, now this one here in the middle, I think it's coral drift, and it kind of spreads out more. Always has very nice flowers on it, but this one is apricot drift, and you can see they kind of have more of that old-fashioned look to them. And boy, do I love that. They're awesome. If I had to pick any drift rose, I think this one is probably one of my top ones. It kind of does a little bit higher growth in its form, upright versus spreading out, as you can see right here. But all of them doing amazing. I mean, look at that. Wow. Our Carolina Jessamine, or Jasmine, Carolina Jessamine is for some reason leaning this way. I'm gonna just take that and tie it back over here, and I was hoping it would crawl on up, and it's crawled a little bit up here, the trellis, on both sides, but not too much. And here is our hydrangea. This is just one I bought, just a regular hydrangea from like Lowe's or Home Depot a few years ago. It is doing amazing. And here's another change right beside our wizard. This is a dual rose that I bought at, I think Lowe's or something years ago. It's never done great. I think one of the colors has died out, one of the versions of the rose, but there's usually 1 or 2 blooms, but it's got black spot. And this Don Juan rose behind it has every once in a while a big nice flower, but it's not grown very much compared to what I would think it should. And it's probably because it's too close to concrete that's up under the ground right there where that brick wall is. So I'm actually going to dig both of those up, replant Don Juan somewhere else, chunk this guy, and then I've got a David Austin rose in the back that's been in a pot for a couple years, and it's still doing really good, and it's ready to needs to be transplanted, so it's going right here, and I think it will fill out this little whole space nicely. So that's the front flower bed. Looking forward to these limelight hydrangeas going crazy, and just enjoying the flushes. Can't wait for all of these to flush out as well. I think those are sweet drift. In the backyard now. Go over at the lake. Here's some geese. And we have here the bird feeders. Now the backyard's not quite in bloom like the front is, so we'll do another video especially as this new dawn goes crazy. It has blooms that are just about to open probably within the next 2 or 3 days. I'm hoping they wait till after tomorrow when there's going to be a storm or chance of storms, and then they open after that and hang on for a few days. Here's our Miss Molly butterfly bush going. Lots of new growth. I didn't trim these all back as probably quite as much as I should have this year. Kind of left them alone, so I'll have to take care of that this coming year, but I'll trim them back as they finish blooming as well. Here's some more sweet drift and homestead, purple homestead verbena, which are just starting to really flush out. I wasn't sure how they were going to do coming back this year, but looks like they are. Got our dwarf butterfly bushes there. I don't remember which one, the Pugster series, but Pugster pink, purples, different ones. Homestead verbena looking really, really good. It's just gonna keep flushing out. I do water that once a week when I do my fertilizing for all the annuals. There's another Miss Molly right there. Said, we'll look when we get up on the deck at that. All the blooms on the big climbing rose there. New Dawn. These are more drift roses, still the same thing. Got the, I think abelias is what they're called. Got some holly back there. We got our white wedding hydrangeas, which are fleshing out nicely, assuming the deer don't find them beforehand. Got some nice little flowers here. These were eaten by deer down to the ground when they had nothing else to eat during the winter, but they are flushing back out, so we'll see what happens. Here's our drift roses. This is where we had our wall of petunias last year. This year we're using Stormburst Super Bina from Proven Winners, and you can see some of that just starting to flush out. Transplanted some of our Pugster butterfly bushes that were in containers, and also got a new variety. Those back there are going to get taller like Miss Molly. This area here filling out nicely. And boy, that wind spinner back there has gotten its use with all the wind here. All these drift roses, they're kind of, I probably should have cut them back to make them a little fuller, and I will once they finish their first flush, but the deer just kind of ate them so bad that they're a little bit strange shape. They left some twigs going up, and I didn't cut those out, but that'll help them fill out when I do. So good thing about drift roses, you can trim them pretty hard even during the growing season. It won't hurt them. Our lantana just starting to show some new growth. Daylilies also eaten by rabbits and deer last year down to the ground, never could get going. This year, I cannot believe they all actually survived. So here's a different lantana, different colored ones, and those are starting to come back. I did not think they would. This was a new video here that we planted right there. Look at that, I think Sunshine Ligustrum, glowing as always. Probably the least thing I was not impressed by this year, and it could be they're just in a too wet area, not enough sunlight maybe, a little bit too much shade, but these Forsythia really didn't do much. But the ones I saw in the stores weren't that pretty either, and usually they just show off. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. So we'll see what we do with those. Our family of gnomes, as you go up here, St. John worts. Just starting to get going with some blooms. And our creeping Jenny area, which is just starting to fill out. There's some extra I threw down there and got to put that in the ground. Some gardenias. I'll take a look real quick at the wheelbarrow. Elephant plant, or elephant ears. Some shade loving stuff, which you can watch us as we plant the, or as we did the video there, put a link to that. But everything is, I think, gonna fill out really nice. Man, I just love how bright these guys are. And I found something in one of our local garden centers the other day that was kind of a bright red that was equally as cool as these. So might have to get some of that. All right, here's our tub with our Oriental lilies, a lot of Proven Winners annuals, some ivy, some super bells, and let's think one super bean in the backs, and also we have some super petunias. That's filling out really well. Our bird basket's all starting to fill out really nice also. And then up under here, this guy's struggling for some light just because all these bird baskets, so probably have to transplant him. I love those big old flowers you get on these. I think those are Rose of Sharon's maybe. Got to clean this up a little bit on the wall there, but this is some kind of bean thing that has beans on it, some kind of vine, and also star jasmine. So now that we're getting a little bit more sun, I'm expecting this to kind of go crazy, and I can't wait for that smell to hit. I see a few blooms just starting to come out. I won't show you below there too much because it's a mess, but that's the stuff we got to replant. Last but not least, on the deck, some of the pots. This is just Creeping Jenny with a statue in it. It always kind of just comes back every year and fills that whole thing out. Fairy statue. Ran out of the red, so just put that extra one in this basket, and that's Proven Winners stuff. Here's the old treasure we found at the land. So you like that bucket? Another one that just kind of put something out in the front to be different, and we'll see how that fills out and looks. Hanging baskets, doing great. This is all Proven Winners mixtures. Super bells of different varieties. Lemon slice is one. There's our Super Petunia Vista, already swallowing up the lemon slice. Probably won't see those again. Down here we have 3 baskets, or 3 containers of Suncredibles. Looking forward to those filling out nicely. Another hanging basket of Super Bells. Super Bells over here. Now, this is our Sunflower Fairies. Going to go somewhere with these Suncredibles, but this here is a Angel Trumpet, I think it is. And if you guys have anything, I'm gonna trim it at some point. I gotta figure out exactly where I want to cut it off at, but it's starting to come out now, and that was really cool last year. Look at the blooms on this new dawn. I mean, it is packed with blooms, and they're getting extremely close to opening, so I can't wait to see that. And that last hanging basket, this is the doubles right there. That's pretty neat. And then these petite knockout roses, which are going to be in new containers probably by the next video in the next day or so. Ran out of potting soil, so we're going to have to get those planted up. So that is your April garden tour. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, share it with your friends. We'll be here real soon as other stuff starts to flush out over the next month and do some more garden tours. And then keep on plugging away at different things. Y'all have a good day, and we will see you real soon. I'll leave you with a nice view of the lake.